last week when we were in Chicago, we got to do something fun, correct?
Yes. I'm trying to think of which fun thing you might be thinking of.
This will help you out.
Okay.
Deb, on a scale of 1 to 10, how outgoing are you?
How outgoing am I? Oh, well, it depends on the situation.
Okay.
On how outgoing I am.
What if I said performance art in front of an audience?
Yeah, like a 2.
Okay.
Okay, but other times I could be considered very outgoing, but not with performance art.
Perfect. Last time when we were in Chicago, Deb and I got to do some small improv classes. We didn't do it together. We did it with a group of people, and we were taught by a master, a supposed master who's been on television and has been paid and was paid to give us a class. So, Deborah, within the constraints of this podcast, even though this is a podcast we're taping, would you like to do improv with me?
Oh, dear Lord. I mean, are you going to do that stupid thing where you hand me something?
Oh, yeah. But let's build up to it, okay?
Okay.
This is what I learned. Deb, before we get started, let's get in the right frame of mind to do improv.
Okay, all right.
What's the first thing we know about improv? The number one rule.
I'm supposed to listen?
Okay, sure, but that's not the number one rule. What's the number one rule of improv?
I have to be willing to play?
Okay, that's a good rule, but it's not the number one rule.
Clearly, I don't know the number one rule.
Yes, and.
Yes, and. Yeah.
We never say no. We never contradict somebody.
Because that ends it.
Because it ends it. It's yes, and.
Yeah.
But before we get into yes, and, let's just do some warm-ups, okay?
Okay.
And now here's what's going to be difficult. A lot of these initial warm-ups are just visual for the two people who are going to improvise together to get comfortable with each other. And I think it's fair that sometimes Deb and I aren't comfortable with one another. So let's get into this right frame of mind. Okay, Deb? Just look at me in the eyes.
I'm looking at you in the eyes.
Right in the eyes. Get comfortable with Deb. That's not how you normally look. That's more of a serial killer look.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Well, here's the other thing. I'm not criticizing you. I need you to be natural. And your eyes bulging out of your head like you just did a line of cocaine and meth and black tar heroin isn't how I get comfortable with you. Okay. So I'll just kind of narrate what we're doing. So let's just get comfortable.
Let's just get comfortable.
Okay. Now I'll narrate. You be quiet.
This is the part that makes me so uncomfortable.
I'll narrate. You be quiet. Okay. I want you to get comfortable with yourself. Deb, you're laughing.
I'm comfortable though.
Good. Okay. Let's just stare at each other for a little bit. Right. Okay. You feel good? Mm-hmm. Perfect. Normally that would probably take about a minute or two. The other exercise to where we can just get comfortable with ourselves in this space.
You're talking in a whole different voice.
Well, because I want you to get comfortable. Okay. Are you comfortable?
I'm comfortable.
Okay, great. It's called the mirroring game. I don't know if it's called a game, but it's the mirroring experience where you do something and I do my best to mirror it. Okay. So you'll start.
Okay.
I'll do it. And then I'll kind of narrate what we're doing. Now, this is hard because we're supposed to be standing and we're supposed to be standing relatively close to one another.
Right.
But I have a big screen up. We're separated by about 5 feet. But I'll do my best not to like hit all the equipment, but to mirror what you're doing. Okay.
So would this be the time to say if you've never watched us on YouTube, this would be the moment?
Well, Deb, you're putting the cart before the horse here. Let's make sure that we have something funny for these people to watch first off, okay? So you go. Hands free. You can't stand up and walk, but now it's slower movement so I can mirror them, okay?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we got the left hand going up, and it's a little bit of a circle. Nice. A little wax on, wax off. 2 hands going up, out into a circle. Very Danielson. We got eyes, face, fingers in the nose, fingers in the nose, out the nose, fingers in the ears, eyes wide, fingers on the eyes, inappropriate. All right, my turn. Now I'll take over, okay?
Okay. Oh.
Finger in the air, pointing. Finger back down like we're going to put it in our pocket. Finger back up in the air.
Oh.
A little Saturday Night
John
Fever
Travolta.
vibes. There you go.
Yeah, I got
now
that.
Just left hand up. The Queen's wave.
The Queen's wave.
Queen's wave.
Got that.
Good. Deb, do you feel present? Do you feel comfortable?
I'm here. I'm present.
Okay, one of the exercises we did, super simple. 2 people standing like how we just were. Somebody is going to offer you or I a gift.
Okay.
Obviously, it's going to be you or I offering each other a gift.
Okay.
You're going to start by just simply saying, I thought of you, here's a gift, and then it's going to be up to me to determine what you actually gave me, right?
Okay.
Right off the top of my head, dare I say, improvised.
Okay.
Do you want to give me the gift first, or do you want me to give you the gift first?
I want to give the gift.
Okay, wonderful. And then based on what I determine the gift to be, we can improvise a little conversation, okay?
Okay.
Or do you want to start off by just giving me the gift, me saying what's in the gift, and you just agreeing? Or do you want to do a little bit longer form?
We could go as far as I'm comfortable.
Fantastic. Deb, lead us off. You're going to give me a gift.
Kev.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm pretty good.
I was so excited when you reached out. I've been thinking about you.
Yeah, I saw you on LinkedIn, and I thought this would be a great time to connect.
Oh my gosh, I've missed you.
Oh, I missed you too.
Yeah, so as I was planning to meet you here,
Okay.
I thought there's this thing that always creeps up in my mind.
Oh, sure.
And when I see it, I think of you.
Oh my
No
gosh.
other person. I mean, I probably should have bought it and, gotten it to you 1,000 times, but I
Okay.
haven't. So here you go. Can you help?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm help. It's just super heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Do you
I have it.
Okay,
Oh,
great,
wow.
great. Like, what do you think?
I mean-
it totally reminds me of you.
I don't, yeah, I thank you. I don't know why it was heavy, but I appreciate it. But it's a grocery bag full of bats.
Well, do you want to know the story of that?
And like some of them look like they're alive and some
no,
aren't.
They're alive. No,
Okay,
they're all alive.
wonderful.
The others are sleeping.
Okay, great.
So do you remember that time when I lived in Houston?
Oh, that one just flew away.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, you're right. They're alive. Okay, yeah.
Remember that time I lived in Houston?
I sure do.
And remember I lived on that really cool bayou area?
Oh, yeah.
And you always wanted to go down to that one bridge at night
Okay.
and watch when the bats came out.
Sure.
And we just never did it.
That you're absolutely right. And my brain went to, I just thought I told you that I liked Batman, and you just took it in a real literal sense. But this is fantastic gift of bats in a grocery bag.
So if you take the bats
Yeah.
and you give them a little shake,
Okay.
and they
Oh, there they go.
There they go. There they go.
They're going.
So they're going to sleep during the day.
Okay. Are they going to come back in the grocery bag? Is this their home? Do they know this grocery bag as their home?
No, they're probably going to go up in the corner of the ceiling of your house.
Don't like that, but okay.
Okay. And you should probably lay plastic on the floor.
Noted.
Just saying, okay?
And I think I'm properly vaccinated against bat bites.
But when the sun starts to set,
Yeah.
they're going to fly around the house. It'll kind of be like butterflies, only bats.
This is the gift that keeps on giving.
It is.
And scene. Deb, great job.
Thank you.
Let's reverse the roles.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the gift.
Okay.
And you're going to determine what's in the gift.
Okay, great.
Deb, you're killing it.
Am I doing it
You're
good?
doing a great job.
Okay.
Deb? Deb
Kev?
Z?
Oh my gosh. It's been so long.
I haven't seen you in a gosh darn minute.
You have not aged at all.
Thank
you
you.
look exactly.
Thank you so
I
much.
would have recognized you anywhere.
I know this is going to come out of left field, but I just had this sinking suspicion that I was going to run into you today.
What?
Has nothing to do with me following you on Find My Friends app and knowing exactly where you are 24 hours a day. I just felt I was going to know that you were here. Hold on, let me get this thing out of my bag. I brought this for you.
Oh,
I have thought about you morning, noon, and night, and I brought this for you.
Oh my God.
A little gift, a little token for you.
This is not a little token.
You're right.
I mean, this is freaking amazing.
Thank you.
You know, for years I've wanted this.
I know you well.
Did you get it in America or did you get it in Europe?
I believe I got it in Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia. Well, then that probably means it's a knockoff. It's fake.
I mean,
I
I
don't
thought it
even
was real.
care. I
The
don't
guy
even
who
care.
took me into the alley said it was real.
Okay. Well, I love this Louis Vuitton backpack.
Oh, you're right. You're sure. I know you would.
I love it. I mean, like, oh, Kev,
Yeah.
this is too much. I just know you. No, this is too
And
generous.
you can tell it's
I don't
real.
know if I can keep it.
But you can tell it's real because it has the L and the B for Louis Vuitton.
Right.
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton.
Because that's how, I've heard Italians
Yeah.
pronounce it. It's that hard
Louis
B. And
Vuitton.
I know you know
That's
your
it.
purses.
Yep.
So the LB
Yep. Yep.
and that khaki and that bright green is
Yeah.
what I know
This
makes it
is-
authentic.
Listen, It's never about the gift.
Thank you.
It's about the thought.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you would have thought of me when you were in an alley in Southeast Asia.
You're the only person I would have thought about being in an alley in Southeast Asia.
Oh my gosh. And the fact that you would remember Louis Vuitton.
Louis B.
Right?
Louis B.
And that would be a thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and that you've carted this around just waiting to run into me.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I mean, are you the most amazing person in the world?
I often think so. And scene. Deb.
How did I do?
Deborah. You're hilarious.
Oh, great.
You're hilarious.
Great.
People love you.
Got into it. Why didn't they pick you and I to be the people
Probably because you said you were a 2 and in no way raised your hand to participate at any point in time.
What ended up happening is when they said, like, are you, there's this whole group of people that went, Deb. And I just, you know what it was? I was in that
got
period.
Scared. You got a little intimidated.
It wasn't even that. I was in that period where I feel like I'd talked a lot that week.
Yeah.
I was letting down, do you know what I mean, to that relaxing place.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't find
and you can't always be on.
I can't always
be on.
So I said, I didn't know that was in the plan. I couldn't do it, you know?
Really, this is just a way for us to tell you that stay tuned because the Deb and Kev sketch show is coming to a platform near you. Let's start the podcast.
Welcome to the Deb and Kev podcast. One is a Harvard Business School alum. The other is her son, discussing business, pop culture, family, and everything in between. Now, here are your hosts, Deb and Kev.
Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to the Deb and Kev podcast. The star of this here podcast, we'll call her Mike Myers before Kanye ruined her. It's my mom, Deb.
I'm Deb.
And if she's Wayne, I'm Garth. Party time excellent. I'm her son, Kev. And this is our podcast. Do you know the movie?
Yeah, it's the one with Mike Myers and
yeah, they've been referenced in the open.
SNL
guy.
Dana
I said
Carvey,
the name.
Dana Carvey.
Yep.
Yeah, and they live in the basement.
He lives in his mother's basement.
Yeah.
They do a show in the mother's basement.
They do a show in the mother's basement.
Get there.
And they're like from Wisconsin or something like that, the Midwest somewhere.
Correct. Illinois.
Mike and
and if she's Wayne, I'm Garth.
Oh, Wayne.
What is it? Wayne's what?
Wayne's World.
There you go, Deborah.
Boy,
good
that
for
needed
you.
A lot of help. Yeah.
On today's show, it's the final installment of Deb's 5-part series about managing yourself in the workplace. Today, she'll be talking with us about measuring your life. What's that mean? I don't know, but we'll find out. And we have some stellar new Would You Rather questions. And like a homemade rice paper dumpling, we'll wrap this episode up with what's for dinner and what we are thankful for. But first, we have some Jeopardy news. Okay, I don't know that we're going to get DMCA'd or not when I play that kind of music, but it sounds better when I can play the theme songs that everybody knows.
I agree.
Jeopardy news. For the remainder of the year, Mian Bialik and Ken Jennings are going to be hosting episodes.
Yay.
We told you we'd keep you apprised of all the Jeopardy happenings. We are your one-stop, non-stop, all-stop Jeopardy place for information.
Yep.
And they announced just the other day that the hosts for the remainder of the calendar year of 2021 will be Mian Bialik and Ken Jennings. And for me, you just don't overthink it. That's what you do.
Yeah, Ken is the right choice, 100%.
And in totally bizarre news, Jeopardy is airing the Mike Richards episodes. I don't know how you describe it. Like, it's like you see a car accident before the car accident, but you already know how it plays out. And if you know Jeopardy, of course they have to air these episodes because they're linear. If you have somebody who's constantly winning, and right now they're in the midst of somebody, what's his name, Mike Amadio or something like that.
Oh my God, that guy's on a streak.
Who's won $750,000. you have to air his episodes because you need to know whether or not he's returning episode to episode. So you're watching Mike Richards host the show.
I know.
Fully knowing he's no longer the host and not remotely affiliated with the show or Sony programming anymore.
You know what it's like? It's like, you know how you watch a movie and there is some like horribly intense, crippling, dramatic scene in the very beginning, and you just catch your breath from it and it goes 5 days prior.
Yeah.
And then you swing back. That's exactly what it's like.
When Game of Thrones was good, do you remember how much we all hated Joffrey?
Oh, yes.
It's like if we knew what, like now people who read the books clearly knew what ultimately happened to Joffrey, but if you were only watching the show, you were just like, when in God's name is this kid going to get his?
Right.
And he got his in the most beautiful way. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched Game of Thrones. He got his in the most beautiful way. But it's like knowing how Joffrey is going to die and then still watching it happen and being totally mesmerized by it.
Plus, you know what he did? This was very interesting. Mike, the guy that has won, is it Mike?
It's like, I want to say his name is Mike Amodia or something like that.
So he's the guy that he's in the winner's platform, that spot. And he has been on for a while. And he's really funny because you always feel like he might not have the answer a little bit.
He's very uncertain.
He's very uncertain, but he always has the answer, which is weird. So this is how he looked before Mike Richards came on. Okay. His shirt always looked like a little too big for me. Yeah. And I'm not going to say he was slovenly or anything like that. You just kind of wanted, he's a trim guy. You just kind of wanted to tuck him in a little bit.
He wasn't fashion forward.
He wasn't fashion forward. Now, remember Mike Richards, one of the things he said is he wants to dress the people.
He wants people to look a certain way.
He wants a certain look. Now this guy has on a shirt that fits perfect with a tie that matches perfect. And what does Mike say the first night? Nice tie.
Nice tie, guy.
I was just like, ugh. We want these people to be themselves.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, if they bring 10 tops, I want them wearing their 10 tops.
Yeah, not Mike Richards' 10 tops.
No, not Mike Richards' 10 tops.
Which they don't have to wear because he's no longer part of the show, but it's super surreal.
How long are we going to see Mike on? Do you know?
See, I think they only did about 3 days of taping. Oh. And if it's the Alex Trebek model, I think they would do 3 a day. Okay. So we'll have the rest of this week. And this is coming out on Monday. So we'll just have the rest of this week and that's it. Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. It's just so like, if you don't watch Jeopardy, if you don't think you're smart enough for the show, A, you are. There's always something that you'll know. But B, watch it to know that you're watching a guy who's about to lose his job in the right way. Like it was good for him to lose it. It's just bizarre. It's so, I don't even know the terminology for it. Yeah. It's true.
So, what do you think? Okay. This is just fun and observation.
Deb's taking this conversation in a different way. Here we go. Buckle up.
Is Mike Richards watching it at home?
Of course he is.
Okay.
In his boxers, eating Ben & Jerry's, crying in the dark. Okay. His wife checking on him every 30 minutes, just, quality of life check. Is Mike alive? And just crying into his Cherry Garcia, wondering why he already bought an Aston Martin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And wondering how he's going to resell that.
Do they just take returns?
Do they take returns? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Deb, do you want to know what else is coming back this week?
I know. I could have said it. You really are. Eric Elliott, he's really excited.
Okay, Deb, we're not narrowcasting to individuals. Stop name dropping individual people.
If I know people have made comments about this stuff, I have to say something. I can't help it.
Survivor's coming back this week.
Oh my God.
September 22nd. I believe that is a Tuesday.
Wednesday, I think.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
We've talked all about it. If you've listened to the podcast, you know that it's different, it's new, it's shortened amount of time. It's going to emphasize surviving more. The gameplay is going to be 1,000% different. And Deb and I watched it religiously, old reruns during the pandemic. We will continue to watch the new shows as they air.
Yeah.
We won't talk about it at length like we did with the Great British Bake Off, but we will choose the people we think will win.
Yep.
We will kind of break down all the happenings of it. And if you want to participate. We highly encourage you to watch so that you can form opinions and then chastise us underneath your breath or agree with us
because there will
in
be
the open.
There'll be people we don't like.
1,000%.
So here's just the number one rule. I want everybody prepared.
This is Deb's number one rule. Listen up, everybody.
Rule. At the point, now it can be any point during the first night. It doesn't have to be at the beginning. But it has to be before the show ends.
Let's say you take the entire breadth of the show.
Yep.
To truly understand
who's
the
playing,
show, the people, and their gameplay.
Exactly. And you have to choose the final winner on night one.
Love it.
Well,
we give them a little leeway. You can pick 3. For Great British Bake Off, we picked 3.
How many contestants?
I believe there's 18.
Okay. So you can pick 3 contestants.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Usually what we'll let you do, I'm going to say mid-season, is, especially if all 3 of yours are gone, we'll let you pick one more. Do you know what I mean? So you have at least a chance.
When it's down to, we'll say 10. When it's down to 10 contestants left, if all 3 are still intact, awesome. You're great at Survivor. If you've lost 1 or 2 or 3, you can pick one more.
That's it.
And you can ride that pony to the championship or you lose.
Yeah. It's just that simple.
Deb.
Yeah.
I saved the best for last.
Oh, good.
Do you know what's coming this week?
I don't.
Are you sure?
I think I'm sure.
You might wet your pants.
That could happen.
We're gonna get DMCA'd because I'm playing this song too long.
I don't know.
She has no idea. I am stopping taping.
Okay, wait a minute.
I am stopping.
Is it an HBO thing?
No. There are people at home
that are screaming.
Oh,
Kev.
We will not move forward with this podcast until you get what I just played. No.
Is it a TV show?
We're talking TV shows here.
Is it network or cable?
Cable. Technically not cable, technically streaming. I'm going to sit here and outweight your brain.
Great British Baking Show.
Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah, got it.
Thank you.
Got it.
Friday.
Oh my gosh.
24th.
Oh my God.
The show comes back.
Okay, so again, here's the rules. The same rules.
It's the exact same rules as Survivor.
That the Great British Baking Show apply to Survivor. Same thing. 3. If you lose, you can pick one more.
There's only 10 contestants. We're essentially letting you pick 30. No, is there 10? There's 12. There's 12 contestants. We're essentially letting you pick 25% of the players.
So you need to know that the last time the Great British Baking Show was on, Kevin and I picked 3. It's literally based on who you like. I mean, that's really all it is.
Sure.
Or who annoys you the most. It could be that as well.
Sure.
Because those people seem to last, right?
For a while, at least.
So we picked, and I remember, we picked Laura, Lottie, and Peter.
We picked the same ones? Oh, that's right. We did pick the same. That's what I hated. I hated that we picked the same ones.
And so I'll just say it right now. Peter won.
Oh, yeah.
So we both were right on that.
Spoiler alert.
Laura was in the final 3.
Yep.
And I think Lottie was in the final 5. So we were good.
Yeah.
I mean, we were
pretty
great picks.
spot on.
Yeah. Those were
Not
great
to
picks.
brag.
Not to brag, but we're good. And so for those of you that may not be Survivor fans, please start watching the Great British Baking Show with us because those people love it. We know. I mean, Great British Baking Show people that love a good sponge or a biscuit, you know who you are. Right?
Yeah, I'm with you 1,000%. So get excited. I mean, summer's been a slog. We have actual programming coming back.
Yeah.
We love to watch this actual programming.
Yep.
You should love it too. And it's a way for you to participate with us. And we love nothing more than doing things with all of y'all.
It's true.
Anything else? I mean, I'm just so disappointed that you didn't understand that song.
So here's what ends up happening on Netflix is we don't watch the intros.
I make you watch that intro though.
I love that.
I find
intro.
it to be so
it's
wholesome.
It's a good intro.
Yeah.
The cake that appears with all the raspberries on it.
Yep.
It's a good intro for sure. I just didn't relate to the music. I apologize.
I think I tried to set you up by dropping Great British Bake Off early in the discussion.
You did.
And
it was, you know what I did?
I was improvising.
I didn't follow the number 1 rule.
Which is what?
Yes. Just always say yes. Be open.
Well, no, because if I say, do you know what this is? And you say, yes.
Be open to the suggestion. I missed your suggestion is what I'm saying. Your suggestion was you dropped a hint. I missed it.
I did.
Yeah.
I just like to lay little seeds.
No, you
plant
did
little
good.
seeds.
You did good.
So a lot of fun stuff coming back. We'll watch it. Hope y'all watch it. Moving on to more pressing matters.
Yes.
Deb, it's been 4 weeks. This will be the 5th week.
Yep.
You came to the table and you wanted to talk about this series of kind of managing yourself in the workplace. And we have now reached the finale in the form of, I don't even remember what the topic is.
Managing yourself overall?
Measuring your life.
Measuring your life.
I am so interested in finding out how one measures their life at work that I'm going to sit here and be as actively listening as everybody else, because I've never even heard you bring up a subject like this before, let alone speak about it.
So when I talk about measuring your life, I really mean your whole life.
Okay.
I don't mean just like your work career, like, am I at my 5-year mark? Am I at my 10-year mark? I don't mean that. You know, we talk about, and we had a couple conversations on here about how I hate it when people say it's just business, as if it doesn't affect you. You know, hey, it's only business. I'm firing you. You don't get your vacation time. You don't get your PTO. You will have no money tomorrow. Good luck. I mean, it's only business, right?
It's only business.
So, I mean, everything that happens, of course, affects us personally, and sometimes our personal world affects our business world as well. But what I'm talking about is really the essence of who you are, because some people, I mean, we'll hear people when they say, gosh, he is the greatest guy outside of work, but during work, you know, what a jerk, right?
Yeah.
I just wish that along the pathway of people's careers, they would really stop and consider and have this be as important as, I'm going to say, the things that they want to learn, the things that they want to be, their goals, really like, what is their essence in the workplace? How can they measure, I'm going to say, their whole and authentic selves? And I think if we do that along the way, I think that, and if you're doing it right, I think then all of a sudden the measurement of the goals becomes a little bit different.
Okay.
So I had a boss at one time that was a screamer and a shouter and a demeanor, and I mean, just angry, angry, angry.
Did you marry him?
No,
okay.
I didn't. Okay, that was a different boss.
Got it.
And it was just a nightmare. And sometimes she was really nice, but you didn't, you know, you were always a little nervous because you didn't know when the other part was going to come, right? And so one of the decisions I made was, I'm not going to yell and scream at people. Now that seems to be obvious, but I mean, I really don't even want my voice to go up 1,000 octaves because I know that can trigger people. So I have worked so hard to try to stay in a good frame, you know, when I talk to people so that they can hear the words.
Yeah.
I am proud of myself for that. I like it. I mean, are there some times where I wasn't as successful as other times? Of course. Have I ever just yelled and screamed at anybody? Never. You know, have I been demeaning and nasty? Never. I mean, I don't think there's an incident where I've done that kind of thing. I always would retract. I mean, I would pull back and not bite, I think, before I would do that, even as the boss. But one of the things that I've always been able to be proud of is who I thought I was in the workplace. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So, you know, of course it means like, how is your work ethic? How are you getting the job done? There's all of that. But I think at the end of the day, it's really like, how do I treat others? How do I care about their development? Do I care about their development the same way I care about my development? Do I care about putting money in their pocket the same way I care about putting money in my pocket? If my business cares about making the world a better place, do I care about making their world a better place? And that's the part where I think we can really have influence and control, and we can really measure it and always feel good about it. It's never, I mean, unless we're not being good, I guess. And if you're not, then be brave enough to take inventory of yourself and make the changes that you need to make before it's all said and done. And when it's said and done, I don't mean like retirement. I mean that your opportunity at this particular company is said and done before you move on to the next place. Because I think in its essence, what I would want people to say about me, just like I would want them to say, you know, I'm going to say at my memorial service, you know, I would want them to say, I don't care how successful I was, I would want them to say she was good-hearted, she genuinely cared, she went out of her way for people. I felt like she was authentic with me. I felt like I had meaningful conversations with her. Those are the things. I felt like I was loved by her. I felt like I was in her inner circle. Like that always, she was a place, a soft spot to fall. Those are the things I want. I also think even in business, in spite of business, in spite of poor performances sometimes, we still can be all of those things for our employees as well. Because a professor at Harvard, he has since passed, his last name's Christensen, Professor Christensen. One of the things he had said was, he didn't think, no matter how successful a company was, and he was very, very, very involved with super successful companies. And he said that success will never measure if I'm sending somebody home every day and I've literally, you know, eroded their self-esteem, and I'm sending them home and they're angry and they're taking that out on their spouse or they're taking that out on their kids, and they can't be fully present because of the anxiety that I'm throwing on them at work in an inappropriate way. And I think that as people in the workplace, when we are given the pleasure and privilege of managing people, it is a pleasure and it is a privilege. And what we want to do is send them home to their families in really good shape so that their families also appreciate the way we're managing and doing business.
Well, and see, that makes sense to me because we are clearly living in a time where people more so than ever are looking at their personal lives and their professional lives and driving a hard barrier between the two, meaning you pay me for these hours and that's all you're going to get from me because my quality of life, my well-being, my mental health resides on this side of the barrier, and I need to keep that clean from whatever the potential stresses of work would be, right? And it's gotten to the point, good and bad, you can argue either side, where people are now saying, I'm leaving this job because I've done this for a while. It doesn't bring me any purpose. It doesn't bring me any value. And it's actually detracting from my overall well-being. And I'm not willing to sacrifice that because we're all keenly aware of our mortality right now, right?
Right.
And so what you're saying is it's okay to be the same person at work that you are in your personal life because that's still a part of your life.
Right. And it's a part of you.
And I've never understood the belief that like you can just compartmentalize work and your personal life ever. I've never understood it. I don't know how you don't bring that stuff home. So I'm a proponent of either trying your best to fix a bad situation at a job, or if it's totally unfixable, acknowledging that you need to leave. But if there are things that you can control that you find yourself being different at work than you do at home, but you can still be the same person in both places, then what I'm hearing from you is that's exactly what you should be, assuming it's not to the detriment of somebody else. But if you're kind and generous and sweet and soft-spoken and giving and wholesome in your personal life, then you should be the exact same thing at work, because if that works for you there, then it should absolutely work for you here.
Even if, and I want to say, even if, because I know there are people who are out there going, oh, but you don't understand this employee I have, right? So even if Susie comes in every day 15 minutes late, right? And even if I've talked to her about it 5 times, then I approach Susie and I go, Susie, you got to help me. You're kind of killing me here, right? We've had this conversation 5 times. It seems like you can't get to work on time, though you're consistently 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
So I know consistency can be part of your pattern, right? You're just indulging yourself and allowing it to be 15 minutes after the hour.
Correct.
I don't want this to be a performance thing, and yet we are on the cusp of that being an issue. Like, what are we going to do? Like, just saying it like that versus, ranting and raving
or letting it boil up to where she does the one thing and you're like, are you freaking kidding me, you moron?
Or just being like passive aggressive with her. And now I'm not going to talk to her. I'll show her I'm not going to talk to her. Right.
Yeah.
Which is the worst thing that is so parental. It is not leadership. It's like what a bad parent does with a kid. Right. Like, come and guess why I might be mad. Yeah. Like, could we all use our words?
I mean, to be fair, Deb once said to me, why would I be mad at you today? And being the child that I was, I had to think of the 50 reasons that I knew just off the top of my head about why she would be mad.
Well, and I said that because I knew there was more than the one.
Well, yeah.
And I just wanted to catch a couple others in the basket if I could.
As it relates to parenting, it was genius.
Yeah.
As it relates to work, that's not a good way to conduct yourself.
That's not a good way, of course. But I mean, a lot can be said without heat behind it. Now, here's the thing. If somebody is stealing from you, like, you get to have a little heat behind it, right? If somebody, and I want to say flagrantly, indiscriminately loses a big account for you, you get to have a little heat behind it. I get that. But does it involve demeaning people, calling names, if you think that they lose a big account and they should lose their job, then, that's it. Do you know what I mean? You pull the plug and you do it, but you don't have to insult and demean them on the way out the door.
Right.
That's just what I'm saying. If we could rise to be our better selves, how differently we would think of the workplace.
So I 1,000% agree. Holding yourself accountable in every venue of life is probably something that seems daunting to a lot of people because you're just super self-aware at all times. And I feel like I'm super self-aware for the majority of my life, but I certainly know if I'm like with friends, I don't want to be like overly self-aware to where I'm weighing and measuring everything. But if I'm at work, yes, you should be, because that is such a boiling pot of potential missteps, both for you and your coworkers,
right?
That's the time to be hyper aware. And the best way to counteract that hyper awareness is to be the best version of yourself so that you don't feel as though you're having to walk on eggshells or check everything you're saying, because if you're acting the way that you know is good, then everything else should fall into place, especially by being open and honest and transparent.
I can remember once when you were young and just first coming in to the workplace, you said, I hate to be managed. I just hate to be managed. And I said, then you need to rise up and manage yourself in the most spectacular way so that no one feels compelled to have to manage you, right?
Yeah.
That is the only option to that, is to really. Now, are there micromanagers? Because I can hear people saying that out there. Are there micromanagers that are out of control? Yep, there are. Nobody likes working for those people. If you are one, stop it. Figure it out how not to do it, because that micromanaging is about you. It's not about your employee's performance, right? And micromanaging is not a strategy. It won't work. It'll just make both of you crazy. And so does that kind of thing happen? Yes. You've even experienced that, where you've been doing an otherwise stellar job and people still felt compelled to micromanage.
Because they think management is telling somebody what's wrong with them. They learned either from somebody who managed them or from just this belief that, well, management is telling somebody something to make them better, even if there's nothing to be solved. You still have to go in there and be like, hey, I like the way you did this. Maybe do it this way. And it's like, wait a minute, we got the result we wanted. Who cares how we did it?
Right.
Especially when we both acknowledge that it happened in as quick and streamlined a way as possible.
And all you'll do if you're a micromanager on an otherwise good employee is you'll just crush their spirit.
Totally.
And otherwise send them packing to somebody else. So
here's my question.
Yeah.
Can you give us a 5-part big bow on the entirety of this series?
So yes. So one of the things that I think, and this is key, we talk a lot. We've spent a lot of time talking about what managers should do on this podcast and the best way to lead. We've had a few podcasts where we've really talked about the employee, right? In this case, we're talking about everybody. We're throwing everybody that works in one giant bucket. And what I'm saying with this is, at the end, the one person you can control is you. That's it. There is nobody else you can control. And that doesn't matter if you're the CEO of the company or if you're a file clerk. It doesn't matter, and everything in between. You only have control of your own self, your own actions, and your own reactions, right?
Yep.
Do we have influence over other people? We do. Influence is a little more, out there, but it's still thinly spread, I'm saying, And what we want to do with our influence is have positive influence wherever we can, sow those seeds of growth and development and opportunity. But the biggest place that we have control and influence and where we can make the biggest difference is ourselves. And that's where we need to make the investment. And I think so often we get so preoccupied with our boss or the company or, a peer that we're working with or, a subordinate or a superior. It doesn't matter. We just become preoccupied with something that we actually have no control over, that it just spins our wheels and nothing gets done. So bring it back home. Know that it's about you. Go look in the mirror, listen to the Michael Jackson song if you have to, and
look at that man in the mirror and then do some improv with him.
Exactly. And know that it's about you. And here's the thing that will happen. Will you change the world if you change yourself? Probably not the world, but you're going to change a lot. And you're going to change a lot of the things around you, a lot of the reactions to you, a lot of the responses to you, and it will make a difference.
Great job, Deborah.
Thank you, Kev.
And for all of those people who are maybe new to the podcast, the last 5 Monday episodes, so every other episode, we talk about this exact topic about managing yourself in the workplace. And if you feel you missed something or you want a little bit more or you want to break down, go re-listen to it. Listen to it because you'll probably learn something new. There's a fresh little opportunity for you to apply something to yourself or to your workforce or to just your life in general. And this has been a wonderful series and hopefully shining a better light on how you can be more productive with the people in your professional space.
Or better yet, I do have a client the other day that told me that during their employee meetings, she plays the business segment of the Deb and Kev podcast, and then they talk about it.
Maybe play the cold open every once in a while, too. Maybe just see how people respond to the Donda-verse certified lover boy. I don't know. I mean, anything that'll incite a conversation, we're all for.
There you go.
Deb, we are going to play Would You Rather. But in my research for Would You Rather questions, which I have many of, the page that I fell on also sent me to a riddle page. Are you good with riddles?
I'm not very good with riddles.
I'm awful with riddles too, but I just have a couple riddles that I want to throw your way.
I feel like I'm terrible.
With riddles?
Yeah.
Same.
Okay.
I feel like your brain has to work a certain way to solve riddles.
And
my brain does not work that way.
When riddles are on Jeopardy, I go, oh no.
Oh yeah, no. Like the kind of double entendre stuff.
Yep.
I'm not good with riddles. But here we have some easy riddles, which is funny because riddles are, in fact, there's one answer, right? There's one answer to this riddle for the most part. Whereas in Would You Rather, it's subjective.
Yeah.
It doesn't, there is no right or wrong.
Which that's what I love.
Right.
I always love the essay question, not the true or false.
Because Deb knows she can BS her way through that essay question.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a couple riddles.
Okay.
What has to be broken before you can use it?
An egg?
Deborah!
Oh my gosh!
Abso-freaking-lutely. Oh, whoops, wrong button.
Yay!
But people thought it was funny too. Okay, good. 1 for 1. Fantastic. I'm tall when I'm young, and I'm short when I'm old. What am I?
I'm tall when I'm young.
Mm-hmm. Short when I'm old.
Short when I'm old. Memory? No. Memory?
No. I would have said snapped yes if it was memory. It's an object. It's a noun. It's a thing.
It is. I'm tall when I'm young.
We don't have to spend a lot of time on it.
I don't know. A flower? I don't know.
A candle.
A candle. Okay, that's good.
What month of the year has 28 days?
February.
All of them.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Okay. See, they'll get you on that one. They'll get you on that one.
Yeah.
What is full of holes but still holds water?
Full of holes, but still holds water.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A sponge.
Oh yeah, there you go.
What is always in front of you but you can't seem to get to?
Chores.
The future.
There you go. Well, I keep pushing the chores to the future.
Fair enough.
So there you go.
What goes up but never comes down, Deb?
Isn't there a song about that?
What goes up must come down. Not this thing.
Spinning world's got to go round.
Yep. What goes up but doesn't come down? Topical for a conversation we had this past week.
I don't know.
Your age. And let's give you one more riddle before we get into Would You Rather. What can you break even if you never pick it up or touch it?
Your heart.
Ooh, a promise. Which would then break a heart.
Yeah.
Thought riddles would be fun. Would you rather? Far more fun.
Yeah, I don't like that. Didn't make me feel good.
No, I don't feel good about that. That's why I don't like it, because there's just an answer.
And I feel like it was kind of like when you said say yes, not no.
Yeah.
I felt like this was a big no.
It's a big no because you have to give the right answer.
Exactly.
Would you rather? I'm going to tell you no, but it's totally subjective. Would you rather, Deborah, have the ability to see 10 minutes into the future or 150 years into the future? Because like right now, 10 minutes into the future, you know, we're just going to be podcasting. Yeah. It's your future. You can see 10 minutes into it. You're like, well, hey, we're going to be finishing the podcast. 150 years, you get to see societal change.
Yeah. So you know how I am. I'm funny about big change.
Correct.
I kind of like the 10 minutes, and this is why.
Yeah.
Because if you're having like a serious discussion or an argument or a negotiation, you get a glimpse of it, and then you can stop it from going wrong.
It's the Mike Richards thing.
Yeah.
I know how this ends.
Yes, exactly.
I know how this ends.
Yeah.
And I'm exactly with you. This is where my brain goes. When I get into the car, I'm going to constantly be checking 10 minutes into the future to make sure there's no accident.
Where the traffic and stuff is,
and to avoid traffic.
There is 10 minutes into the future. Waze for that.
Nope. Okay, I'm going to be oscillating between the present and the 10-minute future to make sure I know where I need to be. Conversely, if I'm out somewhere and I don't want to run into somebody, I'm just constantly checking, who am I avoiding? Who am I avoiding? Who am I avoiding?
Or also, if there were like somebody incredible that you did want to run into, you would know where to place yourself.
Well, in theory.
Yeah.
Because I can't see them. I can only see where I'm going to be in 10 minutes.
But you can't see the whole moment of 10 minutes?
Well, you can see the moment, but if the moment would be that you run into them. You don't know where you can run into them for the most part. And the 150 years thing, like the 150 years thing is, again, it's cool for you to be able to know that you see 150 years in the future. But what am I going to come back and be like, Deb, do you want to know what the world's going to be like in 150 years? You're not going to take anything I say seriously.
Also, I think it's super daunting. It's just too much. It's too much. You can do things with 10-minute increments over and over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's practical.
Years. Yeah. Like if you think back, let's go back. So right now, 100. So this would be 1920. We'd be into the 1800s, 150 years ago.
Yeah. We'd be 1871.
How would they even get their head around computers and cell phones and the technology? I mean, it would be bizarre. And think of the women and how they were dressed then. Everybody would look like a prostitute today. I mean, seriously, what a bunch of floozies. The days when the whole world turned into a bunch of floozies, right?
They would just assume we're a bunch of robotic sex dolls walking around.
Exactly. Makeup, the hair, the skimpy clothes or tight clothes in some cases. Yeah. It'd be too much.
Yeah, I think the 10 minutes is just more practical. It's more fun. It's more relevant. And the 150 years, you can really only share that with yourself. And then what are you ever going to do with that information?
Right. And nobody would believe you if you said it.
Besides be like, you want to know when the world ends?
Yeah.
Start your own religion. Would you rather give up air conditioning and heating for the rest of your life or give up the internet for the rest of your life?
Oh, wow. I
can give up heating knowing that I can warm clothes and blankets, right?
Yeah.
AC, and I know that I've said on this podcast, I grew up without air conditioning. In this room was my bedroom. I would take 100-degree summers and sleep in just a fan, no AC. I don't know that I can go. I want
to say that was prior to real climate change.
But I don't know that I can go back to that life. But then you tell me I can't have access to the internet?
Yeah.
Which, again, there's pros and cons with that. Just live a life of ignorance, just being able to experience the world around you while simultaneously being cool and warm when the weather requires it. but you're just out of the loop. I mean, you want to talk about living 150 years in the past. That's where you're living.
You know, the other night I went out to, my friend Beth took me out for a little birthday drink and appetizer.
Yep.
And I had left my phone at home accidentally, and Beth's phone had died, and I don't think she had it with her either.
Okay.
And when we both realized, because we went to look something up on our phones, we didn't have them, there was just something so relaxing about not having our phones with us, right? And I didn't run right home and grab mine. It was upstairs, and I just, when I went to bed, got it, you know? So you can lean into the, I don't know, but then I'm thinking like, I mean, you can lean into the, I don't need the internet, but then it's like, do I get people to start sending me letters? Like, how does email work?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like,
and you have to say, I have a landline.
I have a landline. Am I the only exception to the world? But think of the freedom. If you only had to deal with letters that came in the mail.
Great.
And if the only time somebody could get a hold of you was when you were home.
I'm 1,000% with you.
Yeah.
But do we live in a day and age where you can actually do that?
Well, then there's
and not have the IRS come take everything from you because like we sent you 10 million emails.
So then there's this. The other day, I'm having a little bit of lunch and I'm sitting at the bar in our kitchen. Mm-hmm. You are sitting at the island in the kitchen having some snack. I have Netflix Heartland on, season 11.
The worst show ever.
And I say, do you want me to turn the TV so you can see it? And you go, no, I'll do TikTok.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm just going to watch TikTok.
There is a thing like I need the internet to watch Heartland.
Yeah.
You needed your phone to ignore me and watch
then other
TikTok.
People would say, why weren't you two just talking to each other?
Exactly.
What do you pick?
I guess I'm going to pick no heat, no.
I'm going to believe that I can exist without the internet.
Oh, gosh.
If that means that I have to live up in some rural cabin in Montana, self-sufficient, off the grid, so be it.
Well, that is, let me tell you, that is so appealing to me.
Of course.
And if anybody has watched Heartland, that's also one of the things that's appealing to me is they're just on their ranch in this beautiful, secluded place in Canada. I love that.
Yeah.
The big, good, best of me person wants to pick internet. I don't know if I could survive heat. I'm with you. I could layer up with.
Yeah.
But
I would just go no internet.
No internet.
And then I would just be
send me a letter.
Comfortable during all seasons.
And before I go to my cabin, I'll buy a bunch of envelope stamps.
Yeah, and, absolutely.
Some paper.
Get a typewriter.
Yep.
Call it a day.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know that I actually believe that I could do that, but that's what I'm saying.
I don't think we could do it, but in a perfect world, we'd love to be able to do it.
Deb, would you rather run 100 miles per hour?
Yeah.
And so no matter when you ran, it was at 100 miles per hour.
Yep.
Or just fly at 20 miles per hour.
Just fly at 20 miles per hour.
Think of how ridiculous the sight of somebody just flying at 20 miles an hour is not fast.
I know, but
it's like, there goes Deb, faster than, well, I mean, she's actually slower than the speed limit, but there she goes.
But flying would just be so much better.
Until you realize you can't get anywhere.
Except, how often do you run? The answer
100 miles an hour?
No.
I haven't for a while.
How often do you run ever?
Never.
Okay, so that is my
But it doesn't matter because if I'm thinking in my head, I'm going to run, so I go for the run, then I'm there.
If you run from our porch to meet the UPS guy or the Amazon guy.
You're Flash Gordon.
It's Flash Gordon.
Right.
Like you want that.
But you better make sure all the doors are open.
Exactly.
You better make sure there's no chairs in the way. There's no dogs.
The fence is
right.
open. No dogs in the way. Yeah. Right. I mean, like, no, it's the flying. You're up there by yourself.
The flying thing is like, wait, Kevin can fly? Yeah. You want to see him? Yeah. When does he start going fast?
Oh, wait. In my dreams. In my dreams, when I fly, I don't fly fast. It's a meandering fly. So I think it might be 20 miles an hour and it makes me happy.
Then somebody's like, yeah, Kevin can fly. You're like, awesome. So is he going to meet us there? No, he doesn't fly quick. He's going to ride with us. Sometimes he might just hold on to the back of the car and fly, but he'll always carpool with us.
If you had to fly to Lake Tahoe,
you wouldn't. I mean, you could, I guess, fly as the crow flies, right. but you're not going quick.
Well, you're not going to get there before your friend's in a car.
Well, I think it depends on, I guess it depends on the height you can get.
Well, if you go up over Mount Rose, it's a straighter line. But it's still up and it's still a certain distance.
And 20 miles an hour.
20 miles an hour.
So if you have a headwind, it's not great.
But what of you?
You're just going to show up, everybody's unpacking the car, and they're going to be like, you look terrible. You're like, I know. It was pretty gusty up at the summit.
You've got bugs all over your face.
Because here's the other thing. In mountain terrain, if you're going into a headwind, that headwind oftentimes is stronger than 20 miles an hour. And if it's just you...
So do you think birds are going to make fun of you?
Eventually, you're just going to be the guy who's walking on air. Like, he can't go any faster.
Do you think like a hawk is going to go soaring by you and go, hey, come on, lean into
be like,
it?
Dude, why are you even bothering doing this?
No. But flying. You got to go with flying.
Because the other argument would be like, hey, I'll see you guys there. And then you run 100 miles an hour to your destination. You're sitting there for 20 minutes waiting for everybody.
And flying doesn't mean that you can't also get in a car and drive.
But then everyone's going to be like, you can fly, right? Why are you in here?
But when you get to Lake Tahoe and you start flying around the lake at 20 miles an hour, everyone's going to think like that is the bomb.
It's just a novelty. And anybody's going to say, is it practical? No, he can't go more than 20 miles an hour, but it's cool.
Yeah, but he can run 100 miles an hour. But here's the problem. He knocks down old ladies and children.
He has killed many people who just were casually on walks themselves, and he just absolutely split them in half running through.
If he runs through the subway, people end up on the tracks, right? Yeah.
I like the practicality of a superhero power that doesn't actually mean much. Yeah. So flying at 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm going to be flying at 20 miles an hour. That's
just absolutely it.
Yeah.
That's great. Would you rather end every phone call, every single phone call with "I love you"? Or whenever you're in an argument with somebody, constantly call them the wrong name. So whenever you get off the phone, doesn't matter. Family member, friend, telemarketer. Okay, bye Sanjay, love you. Or when you're in a heated argument with somebody where tensions are heightened, you keep referring to them in the wrong name.
So like you're Kevin, we're having a big argument.
You would look at me and you'd be like,
Tom?
Tony. I've been serious. And I'm like, my name's not Tony.
I'm Kevin.
I know it's not Arnold. Or just every single time you get off the phone, I love you.
So here would be the thing with the Tony and Arnold. Like, it could either diffuse a bad argument pretty fast.
Sure. Or assuming the person can find the humor in it.
It could enrage somebody.
That's where my brain goes. Where if you're in a heated argument where not much can get you out of it.
Yeah.
If you just keep calling them a different name.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's going to end in a murder-suicide.
I'm thinking that somehow, like, okay, love you. Oh gosh, that's tough, but I'm going to go with the love you. I'm going to go with love you.
Yeah, that's going to fulfill my Qdoba order. Okay, I love you.
Here's what I really love. You're talking to a call center person that's annoyed the heck out of you. And you're like, and are you going to do this? And what are you committed to do? And they go, yep. You go, okay, love you.
I am never flying your airlines again. I'm so sorry to hear that. I love you.
Love you. Yeah.
I think the I love you would just be funny. Because again, everybody would be like, have you heard Kevin get off the phone before?
Yeah.
He says, I love you. Oh, like what? To his mom, to his girlfriend, to anybody.
Yeah.
He says, I love you to anybody.
Anybody that'll listen.
Yeah. I don't like the idea of escalating arguments because I don't think that would be fun at all. But I love the idea of just, I love you. Even if it's, even if it doesn't have a real emotion behind it, like you're just like, I love you. And then you just hang up.
After a while, everybody would talk and say, so does he say he loves you to you when you hang up? They go, yes, he says it to everybody. And then it would just become accepted. Yeah. The Tony, Arnold, Kevin, Tom thing would never work.
I agree with you. It wouldn't be fun.
It'd be horrible.
Agreed. Deb, would you rather take amazing selfies, looking like the best version of yourself, but look terrible in group photos? Or would you rather be the most photogenic person in a group photo and just look dogged in a selfie?
I think this is the story of my life.
I think everybody's being like, what are you talking about, Kevin? Yeah. This is how we all think anyways.
Yeah. I don't take many selfies.
Same. Well, no, I don't.
I don't take many selfies, so I'm just going to go like look good in the group photos.
I'm telling you why you choose the group. And everybody's going to resonate with this. Photos and videos are a part of our culture now, right? We will never get rid of them. Photos in particular. Everybody has been in a photo that somebody else has posted where that person chose the photo that they look the best in, not caring about what anybody else is doing. But if you constantly look better in every single group photo, you don't care what's posted.
Right.
You're like, post it. Great.
Post it,
Everybody's going to be like, but you just look so good. And be like, well, yeah. You got to find the photo where you look almost as good as me. But if you're just like narcissistically posting selfies, people are going to despise you morning, noon, and night. Yes, they're going to find you beautiful, but eventually they're going to despise the fact that they keep finding you beautiful and you're the person always posting selfies. And then your friends are posting photos of you where you look like Gollum's brother. Like, you don't want to be that. You take the group photo always, and you avoid selfies.
I 100% agree. And I think I just untagged myself. Somebody tagged me in a couple things, and I literally just untagged myself. I was like, oh, that's a terrible picture.
Agreed.
You'd be like, oh. So, I mean, I don't know what happens when you untag yourself, but I mean, have I untagged myself from everybody or just from mine? I don't know.
Just from the photos that you were tagged in.
Oh, okay. But that means that, like,
For that batch.
Yeah. So I've done that a couple of different times. Like, don't tag me. I mean, unless I look like $1 million bucks. And
That's why you don't care. You don't care about being tagged because you look good.
Because you look good.
I agree. Last one. Deb, would you rather be in a zombie apocalypse or a robot apocalypse?
Zombie.
It's got to be zombie.
Zombie 100%. Now, here's why. I don't know about the specific robots, but I would think that if I'm a robot maker, I'm an inventor, I create robots, I am going to maximize what those robots can do.
Yeah.
Those robots are non-stoppable.
Yeah.
They're fast, they're agile. I mean, they're unbelievable. We know that the zombies can't be all of those things because they're zombies.
Correct.
There is a weakness or two or three in the zombie population.
Even if they're the fast running zombies.
That can allow me to live.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, as we mentioned on Thursday's podcast, the likelihood that something goes wrong with AI is very real.
Yeah.
I have seen enough movies, Terminator 2, Matrix 2, Matrix 3, any movie with Will Smith that came out in the summer in the 90s. We know that things can go bad very quick with robots, and they are built to be better versions of human beings, like 10 times as much, right?
Yes.
If you're lucky to get in the zombie apocalypse where they're the slow walking zombies.
Oh my God, that's heaven.
I mean, is that even a real apocalypse?
I mean, The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, they are so
Give
slow.
me a break.
Yeah.
You just hang out in a tree house for a couple days.
Yeah. Give me a Gatling gun and we'll all be fine.
Even if they're the fast zombies from World War Z, you can still fend yourself off with guns.
Yeah.
And if it's like a one-on-one thing, a metal bat.
Yeah, get their heads. It's always their
you
head.
hit the head, you hit the spinal cord, you're good. You have no choice but to pick zombies because if you're going up against robots, assuming you're not some like absolute techno genius who can give their software a virus, you're dead. You're dead on day one.
Terminator. Look at Terminator how many years ago? We'd be gone on day one.
1,000%.
Yeah.
It's zombies. It's
zombies all day long.
Fast zombies, slow zombies. You pick the zombies because even if the robot infiltration is sex robot infiltration, they're still stronger than you.
They're still stronger. And the other thing is we feel like we can, in terms of optimism and hope, we feel like we can kill the zombies because they were once us.
Yeah.
We were once even.
And maybe you strike up a relationship with one, just a friendship. Maybe you take its jaw off, you cut its hands off, and then that's your companion for the rest of the days.
You keep it in a cage, so there's a little bit of a distance.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Love it. Deb, as we wind this podcast down, what do you want to do? Do you want to do dinner? Or do you want to do thankfuls?
I'll do either one. I don't care.
It's a dealer's choice. Lead us.
Okay, I'll do dinner first.
Love it.
So I'm going to make a chicken chili.
Chicken chili. It's
really a good recipe.
Chili con pollo, as our friends down south would say.
Yes. And it'll be a little spicy. We'll take some pictures of it. And then I'm going to try to do some gluten-free cornbread and see how it turns out.
Yum.
Yeah.
I found that we've done gluten-free cornbread before, and it was more grainy.
It has like a... Yeah, it does have a little bit of that.
Sticky
so we're going
thing.
to try a new one and see if we can do it.
I love it. Deb really embracing the idea that we were heading into fall this week.
Well, you and I went to brunch with 3 other people yesterday.
Yeah.
And everybody showed up in jean jackets.
Oh, yeah.
So that tells us it was
We are going to, just like we're all willing the economy to drop out, we are willing fall to come.
It's not really jean jacket weather here.
It was 85 degrees at the height of yesterday.
Every single person had on a jean jacket. And we were like, okay, here we go. Yep.
I'm 1,000% with you. We were at Costco. We bought pumpkins. I told you, let's go all out this year. Let's get bales of hay. We'll get pumpkins. We'll get mini scarecrows. I don't care if it's 99 degrees in October. I'm putting on a cardigan. I am going to nestle up to the fire and I will fake being fall.
Exactly. No, we are ready for fall after this crazy, crazy summer.
1,000%. Deb, what are you thankful for this week?
So, as people know, I had a birthday and anniversary jointly last week. And I want to say the good wishes just kept on coming and coming. On Facebook, I did that little thing where you can make a donation for your birthday. And we got lots of money for the American Cancer Society. So that made me really happy to be able to make that donation.
A substantial amount of money.
And I got so many gorgeous bouquets of flowers. It was amazing.
There's a ton of flowers in this house right now.
And I mean, like, all of them are different. Different as night and day. So I really cherish every single one. And I just want to say it was a week of birthday and anniversary surprises, and it was terrific. I loved it.
It was a lot. It was a lot of great stuff.
I'm very grateful for all the good words, good wishes, gifts.
There you go. Got it. Nailed it. When we came back from Chicago last week, we flew into a fairly smokeless city.
Yep.
It has been fairly smokeless this entire week, even to the point where you could see blue sky and actually see details in the mountains. We have been dealing with this smoke for going on 8 weeks now.
Yep.
And I mean, who'd have ever thought? I'm just happy to see things again.
Yes.
To the point where, like, I genuinely get excited to wake up in the morning and see blue skies. We've all been sleeping with our windows open because it's finally dropping to like the 50s at night. I sleep better. There's a cool breeze. I'm not waking up with itchy eyes or a runny nose. Like, being able to breathe fresh air should not be a thankful for, but when you haven't been able to do it for 2 months, it's the biggest thankful.
It's huge. It's huge. It is like I wake up in the morning and I roll over and it's the windows that are at the front of the house and the curtains are just a little bit, moving with a little baby tine of wind. I mean, it's just heavenly.
Yep.
I mean, today I laid there and watched a squirrel run over the roof and it was just like, I loved it. It's perfect. Perfect way to wake up before it gets really chilly.
I couldn't agree more until we get some Indian summer where it's going to hover around the 80s and we're just like crying.
But we're still going to wear our cardigans.
And we're going to make soups and we're going to drink pumpkin spice everything.
Yep.
And we are going to just look like the craziest people in the world, but I don't care. We need it.
But wait, I did buy, remember we had that podcast where you asked me about all the pumpkin spice things? Would you? I was at Trader Joe's.
And she bought pumpkin spice Bud Light seltzers.
Pumpkin spice tortilla chips.
Oh, yeah. I haven't had those yet.
Yeah, we'll have to try those.
Absolutely. And when we try them, we'll let you know about it.
Yep.
That's going to do it for this Monday's episode of the Deb and Kev podcast. Remember to like, rate, and review wherever you listen to this podcast and follow us on all of our social channels at Deb and Kev. And if you want to see us improvise this cold open, follow us at our YouTube page at Deb and Kev Pod. Mom, I love you to death.
I love you, baby.
We'll see you guys on Thursday.
Thank you for listening to the Deb and Kev podcast. Remember to like and subscribe wherever you listen to this podcast. Follow Deb and Kev on Facebook and on Instagram and Twitter at Deb and Kev Pod.